All right, everybody, get ready for today's deep dive. We're tackling something pretty mind-bending.
That's right. AI,
Yeah, AI, but specifically
efficient reasoning.
efficient reasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people when they think about AI, they think about like, all those crazy things it can do.
Right.
Create images, write stories.
Compose music even.
Yeah, but like we don't often think about like how much brain power it takes for AI to do those things.
Yeah, the computational cost can be significant.
Yeah, and that's actually a big bottleneck
Absolutely.
in developing even more powerful AI. It's like we're hitting a wall.
Yeah, you need specialized hardware. You need a lot of
Yeah, exactly. So that's what makes today's deep dive so fascinating. We're looking at a paper,
called efficient reasoning with hidden thinking
Efficient Reasoning with Hidden Thinking.
by Shen and a team of other researchers.
Yeah, and this paper introduces a new system called Heima.
Heima, it's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, and it's all about making AI think more efficiently
That's the core idea.
without sacrificing accuracy.
Without sacrificing accuracy, that's key.
Yeah, so it's not just about, making AI faster, it's about making it smarter.
Exactly. More strategic in how it uses its resources.
Okay, so how does Heima actually do this?
Well, the key is something called hidden thinking.
Hidden thinking.
Yeah, sounds kind of mysterious, right?
Yeah, it kind of makes you think of like, secret societies and stuff.
But it's actually a very elegant approach.
Oh, tell me more.
So traditional AI systems, especially those using something called chain of thought reasoning,
Chain of thought reasoning.
CoT for short,
Okay, got it.
they tend to be very verbose,
Verbose meaning
meaning they generate a lot of text.
like they're just thinking out loud constantly.
Kind of, yeah.
And that takes up a lot of space and energy.
Right. Every word, every sentence, every step of the reasoning process, it all adds up.
So Heima's like, okay, stop all the chit chat. Let's get to the point.
Yeah, essentially, it's like the AI is learning to think in a secret, super condensed language.
Whoa, accurate language.
Yeah, think of it like shorthand notes.
Instead of writing out full sentences.
Exactly. It's about capturing the essence of the thought in a much more compact form.
So like instead of saying the cat sat on the mat, it would just be like cat mat.
You got it. About finding the most efficient way to represent the idea.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. But how does the AI learn to do this hidden thinking?
Well, that's where the training process gets really clever. They use something called progressive encoding.
Progressive encoding.
Yeah, it's like teaching someone to speak a new language by introducing phrases one at a time.
So you start with like basic vocabulary.
Exactly, and then gradually build up to more complex sentences.
And in this case, the AI is learning to replace its normal text-based reasoning with these condensed thoughts.
Right, it's a gradual process, but eventually the AI becomes fluent in this new language of hidden thinking.
And this makes the whole reasoning process much more efficient.
Significantly more efficient.
Wow, okay, I'm starting to see the potential here. But if the thinking is hidden, how do we humans make sense of any of it?
That's a great question, and that's where the second part of Heine comes in, the Heima Decoder.
The decoder.
Yeah, it's like a translator.
From secret AI language to plain English.
Precisely, the decoder takes those hidden thoughts and interprets them back into human-readable text.
So we can peek behind the curtain and see how the AI arrived at its conclusions.
Exactly. Transparency is key, especially as AI systems become more complex.
Okay, I'm following you so far, but how does the decoder know what each of these hidden thoughts actually means?
They use something called explanatory prompts.
Explanatory prompts.
Yeah, it's giving the decoder hints or context.
To help it understand the secret code.
Exactly. The prompts guide the decoder, ensuring that it accurately interprets the meaning behind those condensed thoughts.
So it's like having a dictionary for AI thoughts.
You got it. The encoder compresses the thoughts and the decoder decompresses them.
Together, they allow the AI to think efficiently and communicate clearly.
It's a powerful combination.
This is also fascinating. I'm really starting to see how this could revolutionize AI development. But the real test is how well this all works in practice, right?
Absolutely. We need to see if Heima actually delivers on its promise of efficient reasoning. And that's what we'll be diving into next.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. Let's get to those results.
All right, let's see how Heima performed.
Okay, so spill the beans. How did Heima actually perform in these tests?
Well, they put Heima through its paces on a variety of reasoning tasks, things like question answering.
Problem solving.
Exactly, stuff that really requires some serious thinking.
And don't leave me hanging.
The results were pretty impressive.
Like, how impressive?
Well, Heima consistently performed as well as, if not better than traditional CAT models.
No, so it's not just efficient, it's actually smarter.
It seems that way, yeah. And here's the kicker. It achieved this while using significantly fewer tokens.
Tokens, remind me what those are.
Oh, right. Tokens are like the building blocks of language. Think of them like words or phrases that the AI uses to process information.
Gotcha. So fewer tokens means less computational effort?
Exactly. And that translates to faster processing and lower costs.
Okay, I'm impressed, but how much fewer tokens are we talking?
In some cases, Heima needed as little as 6% of the tokens compared to baseline models.
6%. It's like going from a gas guzzler to an electric car.
Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic improvement.
So we're talking about a massive boost in efficiency.
Absolutely.
This is seriously groundbreaking stuff. But knowing those researchers, they probably didn't just stop at comparing performance.
Oh, those researchers always got to dig deeper.
Exactly. They probably wanted to understand why Heima works so well.
You're right, they conducted a series of ablation studies.
Ablation studies. Sounds intense.
It's basically like they're taking Heima apart piece by piece.
To see what makes it tick.
Exactly. They want to identify which components are crucial for its success.
So what do they find?
Well, one of the things they looked at was the number of thinking tokens used to encode each reasoning step.
So like how much they compressed each thought.
Right, and it turns out that using a single thinking token per stage led to the best overall performance.
Interesting. So it's like finding the sweet spot between clarity and conciseness.
Yeah, too many tokens and you're not really saving much space, too few, and you might lose important information.
Makes sense. So 1 token per stage seems to be the number.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb.
Did they try any other variations?
They did. They also experimented with something called adaptive encoding.
Adaptive encoding. What's that?
So the idea was to adjust the number of thinking tokens based on the length of the text in the original reasoning step.
So longer thoughts might get more tokens, shorter thoughts fewer.
Exactly. It seems intuitive, right?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
But surprisingly, the results were mixed.
Really?
Yeah, adaptive encoding didn't consistently lead to better performance.
So maybe the relationship between text length and optimal token count is more complex than we thought.
That's what it suggests. Yeah, it's an area for future research.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the encoder, the part that compresses the AI's thoughts. But what about the decoder, the part that translates those thoughts back into something we can understand?
Right, the decoder's just as important. We need to make sure those hidden thoughts aren't just gibberish.
Exactly. So how did they test the decoder's ability to reconstruct the original reading?
Well, they took the thinking tokens generated by the encoder, fed them into the decoder, and then compared the output to the original text-based reasoning process.
So like comparing the AI shorthand notes to the full detailed explanation.
Exactly. And they didn't just look for a word-for-word match. They used a combination of quantitative metrics and qualitative analysis.
Quantitative metrics like numbers and stuff.
Right, things like Blue Meter Rouge, all standard ways to measure the similarity between two pieces of text.
So they're essentially scoring how accurately the decoder translated the thinking tokens back into human language.
That's the gist of it, yeah. And the results were pretty impressive. The decoder consistently scored high on these metrics.
That's a good sign.
It is. It suggests that the decoder was capturing the core logic of the AI's thought process.
But numbers can only tell you so much, right? Did they also have humans evaluate the decoder's output?
They did. They brought in human evaluators to provide a more qualitative assessment.
So real people reading the AI's thoughts and judging whether they made sense.
Exactly. Evaluators were experts in the tasks that Heima was performing, so they could really understand the nuances of the reasoning process.
Okay, so what was the verdict? Did the decoder pass the human sniff test?
It did. For the most part, the human evaluators found that the reconstructed reasoning was largely coherent and logically sound.
That's a huge relief. So it's not just about the AI being efficient, it's about being able to understand its logic and ensure that it's actually thinking correctly.
Absolutely, transparency is essential, especially as we start to rely on AI for more critical tasks.
Okay, so Heima seems to have passed all the tests with flying colors. Efficient, accurate, and transparent. What's next for this technology? Where to go from here?
Yeah, it really is a paradigm shift in how we think about AI, and I think the biggest takeaway is that efficiency doesn't have to come at the cost of accuracy.
Right, it's not a trade-off. It's like having your cake and eating it too.
Exactly, and this opens up so many possibilities. You imagine AI that can process information as quickly as we can think.
Yeah, no more waiting around for the computer to catch up.
Right, it could revolutionize fields like robotics, healthcare education.
Even creative fields like music and art.
Absolutely, AI could become a much more powerful tool for human expression and problem solving.
Okay, I'm getting excited just thinking about all the potential here, but as with any powerful technology, we need to be mindful of the risks as well.
Of course, we can't just blindly embrace AI without considering the ethical implications.
Right, it's not just about making AI smarter and faster, it's about making sure it's aligned with our values and doesn't create unintended consequences.
Exactly. We need to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly, and that its benefits are shared by all of humanity.
Well said. It's a reminder that the future of AI is not predetermined. It's a future that we're actively shaping through the choices we make today.
And that's a responsibility we should all take seriously as researchers, developers, policymakers, and citizens.
This has been an absolutely mind-blowing deep dive. I feel like we've gone from AI basics to the cutting edge of research in the blink of an eye.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you and our listeners. Hopefully, this conversation will inspire others to explore the fascinating world of AI and contribute to shaping its future.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the mind of AI. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to the research paper and other resources if you want to delve deeper into this topic.
And as always, keep those minds curious and those questions flowing. The world of AI is full of wonders waiting to be discovered.
Until next time, keep exploring and stay tuned for more deep dives into the frontiers of knowledge.